it probably wasn't you, but it's so good to be a part of that.
What do you
know what I'm saying? Like
ground up.
Yeah, I don't know, because when I told you, you was like, yeah. When I was cutting, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know you was in there. So
that's not true. I did not. He put you in the edit.
You didn't say go get Big Boy.
No, I didn't say go get Big Boy. Lawrence was like, I could get Big Boy. I didn't know that was possible. What you mean?
Big Boy's Neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I've been waiting on this one.
Me too.
And how have I been disrespected before she came in here? Wow. Issa Rae, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you so much. I would never disrespect you. You know this.
You stop
royalty.
That. And you're not?
Oh, stop it.
No, man. Like, I'm telling you, you have. Do you rest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love sleeping.
You know, what do you get sleep-wise? It's a difference between I love sleeping.
I'm a 5 to 6 hour girl. But on the weekends.
You try to catch up?
Mm-hmm,
You've been working hard. And I would say harder and smarter, huh?
More recently, I hope
recently,
so. I hope so.
How did well, we all know home plate and everything, like getting into the game. Were you always kind of like consuming either TV, television content, commercials?
Absolutely. Like I watched everything. I used to have a schedule, like what TV shows I was gonna watch. I would go to the movies all the time. If I could go to the movies by myself, I would go to the movies by myself. I would consume. I was a pop culture aficionado. I loved everything, and I just respected it.
What was some of your early like TV shows or things that you like that are movies?
Fresh Prince, Martin, Family Matters, anything in the 90s. 11 Basketball is the reason why I'm here.
Why were, as opposed to like, you know how you'll watch something, do you feel like you was watching it for tuition into the school of experience, or were you spectating just like enjoying it?
That's a great question. I think I was just enjoying it as a fan. I've never actually really thought about that. I just loved watching it, and it felt like, like my friends, my family. I was also I didn't like school that much, and it was hard making friends. We were constantly moving around, and that was it was comfort for me.
Yeah, we were moving around a lot too, man. We had this thing called they called it eviction. That's what we had. Yeah. Oh, I can't talk to Issa Rae?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now, with the name Issa Rae, do we always say Issa Rae? Because you know how Lisa Rae, you with Lisa Rae.
You have to say Lisa Rae the whole thing? I didn't know that.
Oh my God.
I just do it automatically, but I didn't know that.
Yeah,
you call her Lisa,
that's a thing, and I love you, Queen. But that's a thing, man.
Okay,
I remember one time, and this is years ago. I was like, yeah, Lisa, she like,
she you up.
Oh yeah, man, yeah. And I told her, I told the homeless, I said, get her off me. But no, so do people call you Issa?
Yeah, it's just Issa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So watching, and you say you didn't know, you're just consuming. You're just consuming.
Yeah.
But you're moving around LA as well.
So I was born in LA. We moved to Dakar, Senegal, then Maryland for like 5 years, and then I didn't come back to LA till
How long were you in Senegal?
2 years.
All right, that's hell.
Yeah.
What your parents were working over there?
My dad is from there. And
I heard that.
And my mom, it was like gang violence at the time. She had 2 sons and me, or 3 sons and me at that time, and she was just like, "Let's get up out of here. I can't. I don't want anything to happen to them, and fine, let's just move."
That's a hell of a sacrifice.
It was a sacrifice. She was ready to go.
You think she would have? I would have been like, can we just go to like Lancaster?
Yeah, they were mad. My brothers were so mad. They did not want to be there. They had friends. But then, things didn't work out over there, and so then we moved to Maryland for like 5 years, and that was like, that was also, we were moving schools every 2 years.
Yeah,
moving houses every 2
know
years.
That.
Renting. It was a struggle until we moved back to LA when I was 11. And that's when I was like, I'm in the land of Hollywood. And I learned that I like writing by that time. So then I think by the time I was watching movies and understanding that I was in the place where they made like television and movies, that's when I started trying to write scripts.
So you were writing scripts? Because usually I'll ask people like that do music. I was like, man, were you writing rap songs or were you writing poetry? And they was like, at the time I was writing poetry. But you knew you were writing scripts?
I was writing scripts for sure.
And how young were you?
11.
Damn.
But I went to the Moesha taping for the first time. Out here. And that was my show. So to go there and watch it, and then I got a script. I won a script. It was like, I had the blueprint to know how to write scripts. And they were bad. Let's make no mistakes. But it was still like encouraging to have that and then use that as a model to write other stuff.
Anyone in your family had any kind of entertainment or a bug like that as well?
Not in my immediate family,
Yeah.
but my extended family, ironically, they actually produced the movie Friday. The Michael and Pat Charbonnet, they produced Friday, yes. And I remember.
So are you related to Pat or?
I'm related to Michael.
I heard that.
Yeah, Michael is his wife. I mean, yeah, Pat is Michael's wife, and so I grew up, but I didn't get it. My parents didn't let me watch it for a long time. So I was like, everybody in my school was like, Friday, like that's my ooh. And I didn't get to watch it till like I snuck around and watched it in high school. It was so.
Was it a strict household that you grew up in?
My God, my mom was always like, you can't watch PG-13 movies till you 13. You can't watch rated R movies till you 17. It was ridiculous. It was embarrassing. So I used to always have to sneak to go to the movie.
Did you ever tell your mom like you stunting my craft? God damn it! That's what you got to say.
Like,
sometimes.
Get out my house.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
These
Yeah,
are my rules.
But then at an early age, you do want to have like a place to stay.
Absolutely.
You know what
I
I'm
didn't
saying?
have any money. I didn't have any.
But
income.
it's crazy how when we look in the rearview mirror, how we say, oh, you know, it's almost like that Usual Suspects, where it's kind of like at the end, you kind of like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's what all that meant. That's why I was doing it. Even things that we weren't getting paid for or whatever,
Yeah.
but you just was learning on the way. And even when you say the Moesha taping, you know, you're probably just a kid that's going to go see that. And how in the hell is it you win the script? You know what I'm saying?
Actually, a good. I never thought about that either. That not everybody got a script that day.
Yeah, man.
I'm getting chills talking about that. Some stuff is just meant for your path.
Hell yeah. But writing early on at 11, even if you say it wasn't the greatest, just to know a direction is crazy. Because at 11, you know, the average 11-year-old is all over the place. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy too, though, Issa Rae, because I knew what I wanted to do early on. You know what I'm saying? I knew that I wanted to do something around entertaining. And I used to sit down and I used to write people autographs.
What?
Yeah, when I was a kid, and all my autographs had best wishes. It'd be like, to Mariana, best wishes. You know? Yeah. And we were going through bouts of homelessness, right? And at one point, I told my mom, I said, one day I'm going to buy you a house. And we were living in a motel. I said, I'm going to buy you a house and we'll never be evicted again.
Yeah.
And my mom, and I tell people, my mom could have said, baby, please, come on, there's real stuff going on. And she told me, she said, I know you will.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like stuff like that. You also felt like you had a purpose,
Yeah.
you know, and you wanted to achieve this specifically because you had
Yeah,
this particular goal and this set of circumstances. And I feel like that is the making of so many other people's success stories, is just wanting to get out of your circumstances or just believing so hard in yourself or having someone to believe in you.
Yeah, man.
It makes all the difference.
Did your family, did they know, did you have family support even from an early age?
Yeah, my mom always wanted to protect me. You know, this business is full of rejection. And so she was supportive in the sense that, you know, she would constantly, if I wanted to be in an acting class, if I wanted to be in a program, you know, she would pay for it. But she was always just like, don't you get your hopes up, just temper expectations. And to this day, I think that was good for me to kind of live in the humility of it, that this is not often, like this doesn't happen to everybody often, and this is a blessing. And so to understand that each win is a win. And my dad, you know, he's an African man. He was just like, go to school.
Right, yeah, I was about to say that.
And then it'll always be there. Yes, he's like, Hollywood will always be here. Go to school. And I was like, that's not how it works, but school will always be here.
Right.
You know, I feel like I have my shot now.
But even as being a parent now, my son just turned 18, my daughter's 16. It's not like you duke in on your kid's dream. You just want them to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like this protection that you're like, you know, there's things. It's not that I don't believe it can happen. It's just that I want to protect you from certain things that can happen.
Is there any part of you that's also like, you want the greatest for them, or do you want what they want?
Ooh, you know what? That's a great question, because my wife and I, we just had that conversation of what do our kids want to do? Like, I want to do the, like, man, you know, I want my kids to have, you know, a degree. I want them to do, but you know, now some people aren't getting the degrees and some things are going on and there's different ways to do certain things. But yeah, we had that same conversation. And it boils down to, I've kept my kids in private school from pre-K to right now, and whatever college they're going to go to. They owe me that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever they want to do, they're going to have to give me this degree. No,
Yeah.
no,
I get it.
But as a person, I want my kids to dream, and I'll support their dream. You know, because my mom gave me, figured, you know, hypothetically, a yard to play in. You know, we didn't have a yard, but it was like, oh, baby, go do this, go do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she bought me acting books, and, you know, and like I said, we grew up, it's 7 of us, 8 of us, you know, 7 kids. Dad wasn't around. So she could have gave us hardship. She could have gave us this, but she was like, oh, no, here's these acting books. And I, like I said, I just knew I wanted to be a part of entertainment.
Yeah.
And I threw everything up against the wall. I rap, I breakdance, I DJ, I did everything. Even my first gig in music was I was a bodyguard for a rap group called The Far Side.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, just that was the first time I got on tour buses, and because I always wanted to be around it. Even with radio, Issa, that came as an accident. You know what I'm saying? But it was one of those things where I was like, oh, I'm okay. There's an opportunity here, and I'm gonna go take it. You know, but I knew I wanted to be around it. Did you know you wanted to always be around it?
Yeah, behind the scenes, whatever that meant. I just didn't know what position.
So when you say behind the scenes, you were early on behind the scenes? You knew that you didn't want to be like an actress or a...
I knew first I wanted to be a writer, and then I was in a play and acting, and I was like, oh, I like this. I'm making people laugh on stage. And it was a Shakespeare play. I didn't know.
Yeah,
this was elementary school. I didn't know about Shakespeare, and I didn't know that Shakespeare could be funny. And so to understand that language and then perform it on stage at like 10 years old and have people laugh that, you know, and I'm making them laugh through these words, that was powerful to me. And so then I was like, I want to write plays. And I started writing church plays.
For the church?
Yeah, for the church.
And they were acting them out? Or you were just writing for yourself?
But it was for the youth. It was for the youth. Yeah, they were acting them out. And we were like, I did one called The Old and the Rested. It was supposed to be like a soap opera, like The Young and the Rested.
Yeah, right.
It was The Old and the Rested. And we were clowning the people in the church, and they were laughing. Because it was like, my church was very, very old at the time. It was an older congregation. And so the youth, you know, were imitating people in the church, and it was just like, oh, and my pastor was just complimenting me on the play. He was like, you really got something. And that also was encouraging.
But you know what's wild about that is there's certain things that you like. You could see television, you say, oh, I want to be an actor. You'll see it that. You see music with like, oh, I want to sing, because you could see it in other people and your peers.
Yeah.
But did you have anyone that was around? You know how you can say, oh man, I had a crew of people and we did hip hop. You don't have like a crew of writers. You know what I'm saying? Like
no, but in college I met someone, because, you know, you could call yourself a writer, and I would call myself an aspiring writer, but, you know, I said that I wanted to be one, and I met a girl who was my age, and she was like, oh, you want to be a writer? I want to be a writer too. Where's your script? And I was like, oh, I don't I don't have one right now.
That's when we got that old Moesha script.
Yeah, exactly. I have
Mama, send my Moesha script.
And so that kind of challenged me of just like, if I want to say that I'm a writer, I got to have things written. And
did you have any writings?
They were so old by that time.
Right.
You know, got to college, you're focusing on getting into college.
That's like, oh, I'm a rapper, bust one.
Yeah, exactly. Though I did have I had a script that I wrote after a film script after I saw Love and Basketball, and that was when I was 16, and I had written something and I sent it to, or I wanted to send it to Gina Prince Bythewood, but it was still like incomplete, and so I hadn't. This is 3 years later, so I hadn't touched it.
That's crazy, man. That you knew. You know, there's just some people that you say, man, you were destined for that. You know, and it's always after we get on where people say, oh, you were destined for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They're not saying that to nobody.
Yeah, like, man, you're destined for that. Like, man, do you want waffle fries or what? You know what I'm saying? You want bone in or bone out? Come on with this. But yeah, it sounds genius when the genius happens.
Sure.
But people don't understand the struggle, the grind, the getting there, the 10,000 hours, and you know, like,
and the false starts, the parts where you think you're about to be on, and then
oh my God. I had so many I'm on moments. Like, man, we on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hey, Kurt, what happened to such? Oh, that.
And I hate those people that ask, what happened? Hey, what happened? I thought you said
We were just talking about
I'm here
this.
with you, aren't I? Like, we both here.
The
So.
people that count your failures, we were just talking about that. Like, man, so I thought you was gonna bring an album out. Like, oh man, hey, how did that work out
They
for
like
you?
that. Those people
Oh
live
man,
for that.
yeah, they playing their position though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I guess
they're
they're
playing
playing their position, but there's also part of other people sometimes are excited that you don't succeed because it justifies where they are.
Yeah. You here with me?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Man,
we
I
both
love
can't
this.
do it. Look at us.
I love this
Here.
company.
Yeah.
Man, let's go kick it on the porch.
Right. Exactly.
But did you have a team? You know how sometimes you have like a team of people, or did you grow up like the loner, the introvert?
I had like friends,
Right.
and those friends ultimately, even though they weren't pursuing the same things as me, they helped me. You
Right.
know, and that made all the difference. Your friends who ride for you, who believe in you, who are down for you, who aren't counting your failures, who are more like, girl, you said you was gonna, like, what's up?
Yeah,
And
the push, the right pushes.
Yeah. You keep talking about it, do it. And that's been super helpful. And since then, a lot of my friends have just been involved in a bunch of my different projects in that way. And so in that way, they've been a team. But as far as like a creative team, not so much. It's more developed over time.
Yeah, and early on, it's crazy how when you start to not even perfect something, when you working on something, you know, and we had I felt like I was on. When did the I'm on started to feel like something was happening?
The I'm on, I mean, it's still tough to say I'm on, but when I felt like I was getting traction was my web series, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. Because I had been...
How does that happen for you, though? Because that's at a time when everybody thought they needed the network.
Yeah.
You know, everybody thought like,
too.
man, I need a production deal. I need to get this. Because I just recently, within the last couple of years, said, man, F sending my project to people. I don't need a production company. I'll go super serve right to my subs and my followers and everything, you know. But back then, that wasn't a blueprint.
No, it wasn't at all. And, you know, people advised against it. And... you know, told me to do the traditional way. And I was like, if I could, then I would.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah, man. Like, man, they got gatekeepers and door lockers.
You can't get in. And so that was the best. And that was my third web series. A lot of people think that I just did Awkward Black Girl and things happened. But no, I had done 2 other web series before that. I wasn't in them. I was just directing and writing them, crafting them. And so Awkward Black Girl was like a passion project. And then when I put that out, the response, like it eclipsed the other shows that I did in terms of views, and the word was spreading, and that was the first time where I felt like I had touched a nerve with people, and like people just got it, and it felt good to have sat on this idea for 2-3 years, finally done it, and then the response be great, and so that was the first time where I felt
trying to shop that early or doing a production?
No, that was one of those things where I was
because you already had the other 2
Yeah, I had the
as
other
well.
2, and I was trying to get those sold because those felt more commercial. And I was like, you know, one was about my brother's music group. It was funny. They were hilarious, 3 dudes. The other one was like a college show.
Don't you feel like those are going to go? Like, man, these are going to go.
Yeah,
like, that's why they call Dave Chappelle
like
Pilot Boy. Because it was like pilots, like, oh, this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Like, I shot this pilot years ago. I still watch it now, and I'm like,
it's funny.
Yeah, you know.
You always question.
No, I was telling you that because I was hoping you would pick it up. But
go
ahead.
Okay. I don't have the power yet, but I'm gonna watch
that
it.
to me, man.
For real, send it to me. But there is like when you talk about stuff like that, you know that it's hilarious.
Yeah,
and it's
man.
really, when you think about the fact that it could come down to one person who decides whether or
Yeah,
not it makes
man.
it to air, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so to your point about just putting it out there, that's also what I felt about Awkward Black Girl. I was like, if they're not buying these commercial ideas, like, I know this is special to me. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not even going to try to sell it.
But where's your audience at that early on? Because even now we got different machines that support certain things. You know, like social media is even different now.
Yeah, it sure is.
More YouTube series are going on. There's more streaming now. You know what I'm saying? So how do you find your audience?
That was, like you said, it was early. So that was Facebook and early Twitter, and a lot of people weren't making series at the time.
Right.
So, and I was trying to make
And we
a
weren't
show.
watching series at that time
Online. No,
Online.
not like that.
Yeah.
No, it was more skits, or it was more animal videos, and
Yeah.
you know, people falling off of Scarlet Take the Tumble,
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff. And so trying to train people to watch series online was its own thing. But It was an audience of friends and family. So it was more novel at the time. Now breaking out feels impossible because everybody is doing it.
Because now my kids, or we literally watch YouTube.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you'll sit and you'll say, oh, it's on such and such, or so many streaming platforms now.
Yeah.
That early on, that was like, you almost, with my being in radio, they used to have this thing, and the word now, everybody has it. But when podcasts came along, we used to call podcasts the graveyard.
Damn.
Yep. The podcast was like, oh, you can't get a radio job.
Damn.
That's what podcast was.
They laughing.
Yes. And now people aren't trying to, and no disrespect, people aren't trying to get into radio. Some people are trying to get out of radio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But early on it was like, oh, that's the graveyard. You can't get a gig. And, and people had to build their own because you wasn't walking into an iHeart or this or that and, you getting a job. Now you're just like, okay, I'll do it myself. The same way that you was like, they're not taking these meetings or they're not getting my vision.
Yeah, and now anybody can do it. But then even that is like you still have to have something special to break out because it can feel oversaturated.
How did you because with Awkward Black Girl, that's you and your team. Is that your money? Is that your production? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it started off just me, and then that same girl that I met in college who was just like, "Girl, where your script at?" She saw it and she was like, "Let me help you produce this for real," because it was very cheap,
right?
And you could tell that I was holding the camera right in the front, editing it, no lighting, and she was like, "Girl, I'm going to school for producing at USC.
Jesus,
let me get you a crew," and she changed the game for that series, and then that's when it got to a point where people were like, we used to release episodes once a month, and people were like, "Where's more? Where's more?" And the more people I brought on, I was like, I gotta start paying them. They're doing this for free. We're there for the weekend, and so we did a Kickstarter to raise money. And people gave us. It doesn't seem like that much now, but to us it was crazy. But $60,000 to keep the season going, and so that was a game changer. And then we did like a college tour where people. I'm a terrible businesswoman, or was then, but. Basically, we started a college tour because people would be in the comments and be like, "Come to my school," and I'd be like, "For what? Like, why would we come to our school?" And then we were like, "Well, this is a good way to spread the word of the series, but we don't know how much to charge people to send them to school to bring us to their school." So we were like, "We'll charge them $100, and they just gotta fly us out and put us up." And of course, we got like 80 schools.
Man, we cleared like $8,000 on this one.
Not even close.
Oh my God.
They were putting us on Spirit flights, having them stay in dorm rooms until I met, I think I went to my own college. And she was like, "Girl, you charging $100. I was like, "No, well, for this one, we charge $200.
Right? Yeah. Justifying like, no, girl, you got it wrong. This is a $200 right here.
But she said, "We just hired this poet to come out here for $5,000. Like, girl, up your price." And I was like, 5,000? We done did 60 schools already.
You couldn't have come 35 schools ago.
Right.
In your mind, you like poetry. You like, maybe I need to do poetry. Like, no, girl, I mean, you need to charge more.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just thought poets got more money. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy, right?
Yeah,
and that's another part of the tuition into the school experience.
That was for sure. And
I love how you were like, if we could clear $100, you know what I'm saying?
I keep maybe people were like, I don't know, I don't want to drive them away with $100. They were like, "Bet, come through."
Right. Hey, dude, somewhere somebody gonna listen to this and be like, "Dude, I told y'all we got her for $100." Hey man, and when you probably went up on your price, it was like, "Oh, she done changed."
She brand new.
Yeah,
wow.
She done changed.
Staying at a hotel room.
Okay. Yeah. And she want room service and a per diem. But that's crazy how when you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, and sometimes and not that anybody's getting over, but sometimes people not gonna tell you your worth.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well, I guess why would they if you're setting that price point? And yeah, shout out to that person who didn't have to tell me that information, but was just like, "Girl, have some self-respect."
Right. So when you go from the 100, what do you go to? Because when you find out the poet is making,
Well, we went to 1,000 after that.
Yeah.
And then I think we ultimately went to 5,000. And then, then after that, it was I don't. Oh, then other opportunities started coming along, and I couldn't tour.
Couldn't
but that
do-
was
couldn't go pick up the fire racks anymore.
No, I
That's
couldn't.
is that a beautiful feeling though? Like yeah, we need you out here. Like no.
No, I'm sorry. I got bigger things.
Yeah, hold on, HBO's calling.
High key.
Yeah,
But no, that was such a good way, like a college tour,
Yeah,
to
man.
spread the word about it.
and
'Cause
you get
then
in front of
people-
your audience.
Yeah, and I know a lot of musical acts do that, and people feel an ownership. They can say they saw this and spread the word about their friends, and we made it like a screenings and events and a Q&A. So to this day, I still get people to be like, you came to my school in Oregon, you came to my school in South Carolina.
So you were really traveling like that.
Traveling like that, crazy, getting sick, on flights back and forth. Didn't even have the smarts to do a coordinated tour.
Oh,
to
no,
be
you
around. So we were
popping-
like zigzagging. It was just like you learn, but it was fun. It was like people want to see my
So
stuff.
you literally like, all right, we're in San Diego, then we're gonna go to Wyoming, and then we'll be back in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was
Now,
not
how we gonna get from Vegas to New York and then back to Sacramento?
Because we were just like, if they want us, they want us.
But
they choosing the
how
dates.
great is the naivete
It
at
was-
some point? like those are great moments too, though. When you can look
Sure.
back at it and be like, man, that was crazy. But it's also the art and the love too. It wasn't the money chase. It wasn't the paper chase. And of course you want that. But it wasn't about that at the time.
No, it was just about we made something that people are like that's resonating with them, and they want us to come out and talk about it, and that was an incredible feeling.
How did HBO come aboard?
HBO came aboard, so they'll once you get representation, they'll set you up on these general meetings. You go and meet with people, and I told them that HBO was a dream network, and so we had a general meeting. And I usually hate those meetings, 'cause
Right, yeah.
it's just like they're getting to know you, and I like to have a meeting with a purpose where it's just like I got a project. So we had one of those general meetings, and I thought, oh, okay, it was fine, but they didn't have nothing for me. I didn't have anything. Well, I have a lot for them, but they didn't seem ready. And so then I got an opportunity to work with Shonda Rhimes and create a pilot for her. And that was like a huge dream come true for me. It would have been their first comedy show. And then
For HBO?
No, this is for
For
ABC.
okay. Oh.
Yeah, this was for ABC and her. She's the biggest showrunner.
Hell yeah.
And also just being a Black woman and killing it. It was just an honor to be up under her company and watch her. But that pilot was not good, unfortunately.
Really?
And I choked.
Right.
It was the network process I wasn't familiar with. I was more coming from the mindset of I want to create what they want as opposed to I have something to say. And this is what I
Gotcha.
want to make because I just didn't know at
As
the time.
opposed to I'm gonna what are they looking for?
Yeah. And I just needed to just know, and also taking every note. I didn't know how to take notes. So if the network told me to do something and the studio told me to do something, I'd be like, yeah, as opposed to being like, well, this is my perspective, and
Right.
they don't mean it literally. They just want you to figure it out.
It's hard to find your voice in the room
that
too sometimes.
exactly that. And I didn't have the confidence to have a voice
Yeah.
yet because it was my first TV opportunity.
I've walked into rooms where I'm like I know they're already gonna say, how do we tell him no? Or like, how do we get him out of here? Because I'm going to tell you straight up, I take meetings, right? And there's just sometimes too, and I'm going into meetings already knowing that I've done meetings before with other people.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm walking in like, they're going to say, oh, we'll get with you or we love it, because
Yeah.
I've had those meetings where I'm like, damn, how do I get this person out the room?
Damn.
Yeah, man.
I guess I have to.
Yeah, you
were
do.
you just taking
Yeah.
it to take it?
Yeah, like, or when they get in there, like, so what you got?
Yeah.
But I mean, and then also we're paying somebody else's tuition. We're helping them pay their tuition to the School of Experience too.
Yeah.
because these rooms,
Absolutely.
man, these rooms can be intimidating.
Yeah.
And when you don't know or you feel like, man, this is a great opportunity, sometimes that's a pressure too.
Yeah, the naivete of like, I'm in this room, I have to something has to come of it. And it's like you go into a lot of rooms and sometimes nothing comes of it. But with that particular room, I thought I left for HBO. I left thinking, okay, nothing came of that. That sucks. But then when the Shonda show failed, they called me. They were just like, hey, what do you have going on? We heard that you're free. And so that's when I was able to go in and pitch what would ultimately become Insecure.
What was the time between your initial meeting with HBO and coming back where they were looking for you?
Probably a year.
Damn.
Yeah.
Don't a year feel long
Hell
of silence? Yeah.
Even
Because you're not even thinking like, wait, oh yeah, damn, I did go over there.
It feels so long. Even my journey at one point, now it feels like a long journey, but I was thinking about how long it felt for my show to get on the air. And it was only 2.5 years, maybe 3 years of doing things. And that's a long ass time.
Right.
But in the grand scheme of things, everything else moves so fast after
Yeah.
that.
Did you feel like when you got to HBO, did it feel, even when there was production and there's different money there, did it feel like a slower process too, as opposed to when you have like your own YouTube and your own series, and it's like, oh, we going month, every month we doing this, like,
yeah, it was painstaking. There was so many. We did like 7 or 8 drafts, and they're known for their development process. They really bring out the best of creators, but I don't know at the time. Like every draft, I'm like, I could put that shit out right now, and it would hit.
This is it.
Like, why don't they know that?
You be calling people to say like, all right, let's get it. Come on, you know what I'm saying? You be like, it's a process. Like, damn.
It really was, and that was my school of experience too. Because even being on the other side of it, developing a project and making it what it would have been a completely different show.
Yeah.
And they really were able to. The execs there were able to bring out what they wanted and they knew they needed for their network, and what my voice was and my experiences were, and it was a beautiful
It's
marriage.
such a process too, though. Yeah, and there's a waiting process, and even when Insecure, when it drops, you have us waiting for, like, it was always the next season, and seasons felt long because you'd be like, man, I can just knock off like the same way I can shoot it right now. That's the way we are. Like, man, I could binge watch this, and it's like next season. I'm like.
But that was also coming up during because I don't know that many shows were bingeable then. I felt like we were coming up right when the binge model happened. House of Cards, Netflix changed the game with that. But like I loved being a weekly show because it felt like you would watch those binge shows and then you forget about it. But we were able to dominate the conversation every week when we were on, and that's a phenomenal.
Did you enjoy doing Insecure? It looked like it.
Yes, and it was a dream come true.
You know what it looked like too? It felt and it looked like we were just hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like it felt like that, and it felt so authentic. And the crazy thing about it is not just being from here, right? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that people in Georgia, Atlanta, tell you the same thing. That like, man, that's us. That's like how we kick in our real problems, and then we were seeing things also with Insecure that no one else was touching, as far as the perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Because you weren't turning on a lot of shows, and we didn't get conversations with the homies and you kicking it with your friends, and you know what I'm saying? It was like a place that we could go to, and it's something that we could watch. I felt. I
love that, and it was I don't know that I realized it until later in this series. But our heads were down, and it was fun making it. But there was also a pressure that I was putting on myself, and we had our moments to sit back when it finally aired and celebrate. But it was more like it was a grind,
right?
Right. But it was a grind I wanted.
Is it also a competition with yourself too now?
All the time, yeah. I'd like to top myself. I'm like, when Awkward Black Girl came out, I was like, man, I don't want to just be known for this. And for Insecure, same thing. I want to do so much more. I have so many more stories to tell, and so I want to top myself with each project.
Even the Insecure, even the battle of because now you're being compared to yourself. Season 1, season 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. That was also its own thing where it was like, damn, can we just tell the story?
Dang.
Y'all like, well, season 2 not as good as season 1. It's season 2.
Right. we
and
moved
it's
on.
Just started.
Yeah, man.
Please. But yeah, it's just you have to get used to it. And I'm one of those people that I would read everything.
Yeah.
And there's something about me that needs people to talk mess. Sorry.
Right.
I need people to talk mess, and
Is that a fuel for you?
it is. It is to top myself. I don't ever want to believe my own hype. I don't ever want to feel like, yeah, I did that. I made it. Like I need to push
That
harder.
different confidence voice got a little deeper, huh? She's like, yeah,
Right.
you know, I don't want to. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't want to live in that. deep voice. I want to live.
Yeah. In this happy place.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you get me here,
Nah, you don't
oh
want that.
shit gonna get crazy. Yeah, it's gonna get crazy, dog. And so now when you fast forward and you see, okay, Insecure has its run, and you doing other things, do you get into a space of not doubt, but do you get scared of the next move?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why you getting all up in
Right.
here?
Yeah. You know? She'll be like, girl, you gotta go do his show. Like, I almost wrote him a check. Like, it was like therapeutic. Like, they got these chairs. They need like lounges in
Yeah,
there.
we're
and
about to
shit.
bring a couch in here.
Yeah, he had manly hands out there doing like massages.
Yeah,
and-
what is going on?
That's for you if you get some
I
time.
might.
Yeah.
Lay on there. Yes, absolutely. You constantly feel like, damn. There's just I always used to be worried about, is this my time? Is this my window? Is my window
Yeah.
up? And I live in that space of just like, I'm running out of time. It's arbitrary, but it's just a feeling that I have. So like, yeah, I think about that constantly with every project, with everything that I take on.
Is there a motivation, not soul motivation, but is there a motivation of fear?
Yes.
Yeah, same.
And it's the same motivation of fear, but I think that the doubt and the people
Yeah.
who talk mess or whatever it is, it goes hand in hand. It's just a constant desire to prove myself and prove other people wrong.
Do you feel like also that there's so many people that depend on you, and not in a bad way, you know, because who was your Issa Rae?
There were so many. I mean,
Yeah.
I had so many different influences. Like I mentioned Gina. There's Oprah. There's there are so many people that I watched. Spike Lee, John Singleton, all these people who are just visionaries and who laid the groundwork. Debbie Allen, and you watch them and you're just like, your work shaped me. But I don't think about me shaping other people. That's too scary.
Really?
But when I think about depending on, now that I have a company and stuff, yeah,
Right.
it's absolutely where it's like these are people's livelihoods, and so my success and the way I move reflects on them in a way. And I think about that, but the other stuff, no, thank you.
If there was a delete button that had your name on it, though, think about how many great projects, how many people don't work. And this isn't braggadocious.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I'm saying? This is like all the times that you've given us, all the projects, you know what I'm saying? And we just hit a delete. We were like, damn, that's a lot of shit that just disappeared. And that's a braggadocious thing. If you say, that is me. You know what I'm saying? Dun, 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 dun. You know what I'm saying? Dun, 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 dun. I'm shaking, I'm moving, I'm insecure, and like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Hey, HBO, I heard you like me young. But there is, like, I always say, and not in a crazy way, but man, I get up, not just for me, but I get up for a lot of people.
I mean, but you're talking about legacy here. Like, I think about riding a school bus to you. You know, like that's, and I want to be there.
Right.
Ultimately, when you talk about the delete button, I'm like, well, it's not that much. It'd be like maybe part of the screen.
Yeah.
Like, this is that's different. I want to earn and live up to that. And when I talk about my window of time, I'm like, is my window of time gonna lead me to that legacy,
Right.
or is it? Am I just gonna live in this moment, which is fine too, but not really.
Right. But you know what's crazy too is when you look back and how fast things go. Because this is my 31st year in radio, right? And I'm still learning every day. And I love the opportunity to learn every day. I still make mistakes every day. And I couldn't imagine if I just had like a year, 5, 10-year career, you know, which is long in the business. Like in any business, even at work, whatever job you do, you could be here today and gone tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And in this business that we're in as well, people always got their arms kind of crossed. And what's next? And you know, when literally you can have one movie out and they're like, well, when's the next one?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, or not even know about it. Not even know about the movie that you just worked hard on. It's really on people's time and what they care about. And that's been a hard lesson to learn too, is just the recognition of like once you're hot, you can believe your own height. And like I've seen it happen to other people as well, where it's just like you think that this time is forever and that people won't move on, and they will move on quickly.
Hell yeah. And I always tell people, man, this stuff is here today, gone tonight.
Especially now.
Is there, man, yeah, we're in the microwave right now. Is there anyone, without saying any names, early on that you saw that either wasn't kind or you felt like, damn, they kind of did? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
And, they might hit me up now.
Yeah.
Just like, no, thank you, because I know your character. There's when you thought I couldn't do anything for you, and that's like I'll never forget that. The way that someone makes you feel when they think that you're nothing to them.
Dude, I just had a conversation with this guy yesterday. I was at this thing called Slam Dance.
Oh yeah, the festival.
Yeah. So I went and checked out Slam Dance. I was watching this DeBarge documentary that they
I just heard about that yesterday. It was
God,
so good
man.
and sad.
Oh yeah, man. It made me want to go look for the DeBarge brothers. Be like, man, just come in here. Just you know what I'm saying. But I met this dude by the name of Justice. And Justice, I forget what city he had flew in. He was in another film that they were highlighting. But even just talking to him, he was like, man, how do I stay on? And I was like, man, it's character first. Character is what's being said about you when you're not in the room. Work on your character. If I wasn't in radio, if I was a janitor, I'd be one of the coolest janitors you knew.
Yeah.
If I was a chef, the coolest shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, we trust him. You know what I'm saying? And I told him, I said, man, it's your character first. And then whatever else under that, you want to be this, but just take care of your character and who you are. And I told him, I said, man, you're going to meet people. And I said, man, I've met people, and I had the same conversation with them, that did me a certain way early on. And it wasn't that I was going to prove them wrong. I just proved me right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a total difference. If I prove you wrong, am I proving me right? Then fine. But one of them I had to be real petty on. He asked me for something, I had to bring him back to a night. Like,
I love it.
Oh my God, man.
Sometimes you have to. You have to write and like let people see themselves through your eyes.
Yeah, man.
But conversely, like leading with character, when you meet someone, and I've done this countless times, where you meet someone who's just great and you just want them to win, and you will think of them and you will plug them into whatever opportunity because they're just such a good person and you feel like they deserve, and that goes a long way. Yeah, you want to see them. It's just like you deserve. And that, leading with character, it can sometimes get you your next job when you're not even thinking about it.
And you probably felt that early on, or you probably didn't recognize it. There was probably somebody in a position that probably said, oh no, she cool. You know what I'm saying? Or,
that's a good point. And I've definitely had people think about me. Yeah, some of the first meetings I've had in Hollywood are people I've worked with now, and I'm grateful for them. Where it's just like, oh, you took a meeting with me. I just worked with on our most recent movie, Macro, and Charles King was one of my first early meetings. Poppy Hanks, when she used to work at Tyler Perry's company, 34th Street Films was one of my first Hollywood meetings, and there's such a group of like Black executives that saw me and saw my work and were just like, come on in, let's figure something out.
Are you a credit watcher?
What does that mean? Oh, like sit at the end of the movies?
Yes.
Now I am, because I feel like it's respectful.
Oh.
I wasn't before. No.
Assholes and elbows on. Like, that's when you come back and be like, yeah, man, they popped on and they doing another one. Like, what? I was already gone.
Yeah, sorry. No, and not unless it was a Marvel movie, do I stay to the
I'm
end?
a credit watcher.
Really?
Yeah. Even when you say like the Charles Kings, that were like, I love credits. Even with records and albums, I used to just sit and look at the credits, man.
I don't know why I never associated. There was just so many, and you have to like sit there and watch it. But like the album credits, like it's tangible. You can watch. You can sit with it. You be bored, and you just learn so much.
Hey man, what I love, I would have people in here, and I was like, man, I was like, dude, like, how's Malcolm Jones, or just any name, you know what I'm saying? And I have a celebrity in here, and they're like, I don't know that. Damn. Malcolm Jones.
That's telling.
And then I say, man, they were the gaffer. And you're not reading the gaffer and all that on your movie. You know what I'm saying?
You might work with them. And you might see them every day, and it depends.
Is it hard when you guys rap And you know, like, cause I remember early on when I would do projects, I always thought like, man, this is my family. I'm gonna hang out with them. And then they like, all right, that's a wrap.
On to the next one.
Yeah, and then you
don't hear from nobody.
You don't see nobody, and I'm like, man,
I thought we was cool.
Yeah,
every day.
Like, damn, Adam Sandler, I thought that was us. Like, man,
Fuck that franchise.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. When you're in the moment and you there, it's y'all are locked in, but everybody goes back to their regular.
How do you
lives.
tell someone no?
Like, no, I don't want to kick it.
No, not even I don't want to kick you, because like Tyler Perry, his no game got to be on, because Tyler Perry could make anyone a star, bring anyone back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you got to think, you got such an empire that somebody feel like, man, if I could just get, how do you tell someone no?
I try to be as honest as I can. Honestly, like, even people like, hey, will you read my script? No, I can't. I have so many other scripts to write, and there are like real protocols to follow.
Oh.
You might also say that I stole your shit down the line, and I don't want to be liable for that. I've had that happen to me where it's like, girl, I didn't even read your script. Like, you're saying that I stole it. Well, how does that work? And so, like, to protect myself. But yeah, generally I try to help people as much as I can, and I also try to be as honest as I can. Like, this isn't for me. But I don't like disappointing people. And
then you got to think, everybody want to be in the business now. I'm like, dude, if we're all in the business, who's gonna be in the audience? But everybody, and everybody want to bend your ear. I'm sure, like, girl, I got this idea, and really, like, I got to a point now where my team, they ask me to stop opening up like unsolicited mail, because
open up.
I don't open up nothing.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because I'm on the air every day, and we create every day. And there's going to be something where somebody could say, hey, man, I thought about that.
Yes.
Nah, man.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
not trying to get it.
And people don't realize that we all think the same thing.
Yeah, man.
Like, all the time. That is why we are a community of people. We go through a lot of the same experiences. We have the same ideas. But the way that you would do an idea and the way I would do an idea is completely different. And there's even the fear, because I used to be one of those people too, like, they gonna steal my idea. My idea. And now I'm just like, no, they can't do it. Like, they haven't had the same experiences as I have. And if someone has my idea, they might have done it way better than me.
Yeah. Because years ago, I had this concept where it was like, I don't feel I could. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a whole thing where I was like, oh, man, I got this thing. It's like, I don't feel I could. And then when I saw Insecure.
I knew you were coming.
Yeah.
Like,
when I saw
like
that.
two black women.
No, it's just like two black men. You know what I'm saying?
And I opened your mail.
Yeah. And I was sitting there and I was like, damn, this is crazy. I was like, this is crazy close,
Yeah.
But then I was just like, man, you know what? I was like, I create so much. I was like, man, you can have it.
And your college tour.
Oh man, the college tour. You know.
The college tour, what?
I
stole it?
No, you didn't. I didn't say you stole it. Louis
well, you
said
were
it.
getting more paid, so did I really?
For my college tour?
Yeah.
What? They paid you to go? Like, man, my one college tour was at West LA City College. That's where I went. You know what I'm saying? Even now, when I feel out, like, man, you went to college? I always say, oh, yeah, some college. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But you went to college, huh?
I did. Yeah, I went to college, and
did you went away to college?
I wanted to go because I grew up in LA. I wanted to go to NYU because my brother lived in New York. But no, I ended up going to the Bay Area to Stanford.
You're like, out there.
I was getting hyped.
Yes. And your mom was like, take your ass to class.
Yeah, I was like, Mom, don't come up here. Please.
How was it leaving home, though?
I was excited. I was
Really?
ready to go. Me and Mom, this is kind of why I'm scared to have teenagers now and there. But like the mom daughter butt heads thing was so real. And then a month in, I was like, my mom's my best friend.
Right.
Like, I love her.
Like when you left?
Once I left, I was like, that's a good woman. And she's giving so much to me. But I was such a brat and didn't see it in the moment. And she was going through so much at the time, like, divorce. She's going through menopause. And you're just so selfish at that age that you don't see them. All you see is yourself. And I know I hurt her feelings so many times. She told me one time we were leaving. I was going to school. I didn't do something, or maybe I was talking back, and she was like, I don't like you.
Damn.
And that hurt me, but I didn't want her to know that it hurt me. But it also made me like see her as a human. She didn't mean to. She apologized for it later. She was like, I shouldn't have said that. I was like, no, you meant it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Right.
But then after, I was crying in my room.
Yeah. You crying? No, I ain't crying.
No, I don't care.
Don't come in here.
But like, they're humans, and that there's a fear in me. I'm like, I don't want no kids that's about to hurt my feelings. Like
really
that.
though, you don't. Do you see yourself?
I do.
As a mom?
Now I do. Yeah,
Right.
now I do. My siblings all have kids, and they're so beautiful and so unique in their own way. And I watch them get. They're watching them be patient and be impatient. And but my little sister just had a daughter. She's about to turn. Did she just turn 2? No, she just turned 1. And like watching her, she made me want one now.
I thought I didn't want kids. Like I was the best uncle.
Yeah,
and I was the best give them back.
Yeah.
And then give them back. But once I had my own, because I didn't see myself ever having kids. Yeah.
Are you planning for them?
Yeah. Because my wife and I, it was like, okay, we're in a position now, and not from financial, but we could do this. Then when we had our son Jaden, we knew that we wanted to have a second. So and when we had Jaden, I wasn't like, oh, I need a boy. I was like, and it sounds so cliche. God, just give me, what you give us, healthy, whatever. And then once we had Jaden, that's when my wife, when we got pregnant the second time, I was hoping for a girl. Aww. And my little princess, Jade, came.
There you go.
Yeah, Jade. So she came. Her name is Jade.
So is she a daddy's girl?
Yeah, in a major way. And she know it too.
Yeah.
She know it too. I love when we go somewhere and she thinks she paying for something. I love it. She'll take her, she'll go to the cash register. She's 16. And then she'll pull her phone out and I got it, Dad. And I'm like, you don't even know what it's coming back to. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got it, Dad. Like, oh, okay. All right, what do you think this shit just... If that was the case, I'd be like, man, give me 4 of them.
That counts.
Yeah.
I love it. That's considered as hell. I love it.
What kind of gift giver are you? You know when people know, like, oh, you got it? Do people expect it?
No.
Oh, okay, that's good.
No, I'm a bad gift giver. It gives me so much anxiety. People say that I give good gifts, but I don't believe them. I don't. Because I've gotten so many good, thoughtful gifts.
Right.
So I know, I just be like, here you go.
Oh, this is very nice. What is it?
Oh, where you get
It's like an Emmy replica.
They be asking you questions like, oh, when did you even get this?
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Insecure script. Huh?
Exactly.
2018 signed by the cast.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Oh, that is a keeper.
Yeah.
Before we get you out of here, you canceled a show.
I canceled.
Did you cancel a show, like an appearance that you had?
I was like, I didn't cancel.
She was like, man, I'm trying to work.
Yeah,
at the Kennedy Center.
I did.
Sold out.
Yeah. I was just, it's a lot going on right now
in the world, huh?
And I just didn't. The team that brought me there, I've gone there and performed before. The team that brought me there was getting fired. This president has decided, he wants to take over, and that's kind of unprecedented. It is unprecedented. And it set a standard of him kind of dictating the art that we get to see, and I don't like that. So I was just like, I don't want to deal with that headache. We're in the
my man said the chair is mine. You know
It's,
what I'm saying? Like, get out of here. We're in different times right now, and there. I know you got to get out of here, but there's so much. Please come back.
I would happily come back. Y'all go see One of Them Days if you haven't.
Yeah,
It's already
man.
watched it.
Yeah.
You watched it?
I think we all did. And it probably wasn't you, but it's so good to be a part of that.
What do you
know what I'm saying? Like
ground up.
Yeah, but, I don't know, because when I told you, you was like, yeah. When I was cutting, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know you was in there. So
that is not true. I did not. He put you in the edit.
You didn't say go get Big Boy.
No, I didn't say go get Big Boy. Lawrence was like, I could get Big Boy. I didn't know that was possible. What you mean?
What are you talking about? I'm a starving Hollywood voiceover art. You know what I'm saying?
No, he added you to the cut. You wasn't in the actual script, and so it was Lawrence's idea.
Hey man, let me tell you, when I saw SZA, when I saw Keke Palmer, when I saw it was from LA, I tried to do one of those. Well, I don't know. Let me see. And I was like, Real 92.3. I was like, I guess if they want me. and I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if I got paid for that. None of that. I was just like, man.
Wait, really?
I'm pretty sure I did. But that was just one of the things when I saw it. I was so happy that I was a part of it.
Thank you.
Let's take it on tour.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Give me all expenses and $100. I'll be there. But no, one of them days, was that one of those movies that you felt like I gotta have this?
Absolutely. I love that writer. We were developing it for 7 years. It took 7 years to get to the screen. And, shout out to Sony TriStars, Keke SZA. Like, it's been a process. Lawrence Lamont, incredible director, and the writer, Sarita Singleton. It's been like every step of the way. This is our first movie that we produced and that put out.
That's a great movie. I'm telling you, when we saw it, the movie I compared it to. Also, I was like, man, I said it's like when you watch Friday for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is a buddy thing. You're rooting for them. You going through the shenanigans, and then there's just some parts where you just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You felt it. It was a great movie for me. And I'm going to tell you, I talked to people that didn't know that they were going to enjoy it as much.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, man.
Especially now in these times, we don't really get that many comedies in the theater. And so people really didn't know what to expect, whether they watched this trailer and they were like, nah, that's going to be stupid.
And I thought SZA did an amazing
She did
job.
an incredible job.
Hell yeah.
She's so funny. And her chemistry with Keke. Keke can also just...
Oh, yeah.
do any and everything, watch her all day. And so the two of them together, and to also watch Keke take SZA under her wing and SZA make this her own, it was just beautiful to witness.
Man, if they do any others, though, I know I did the VO for one. I want to walk by in the background.
Have you played a villain in anything?
A villain?
Yeah.
No. Let me know. I'll do some villain work. But what kind of villain you talking about? Like Bloodstone villain, like some blood stuff, or just villain?
No, like a bad guy.
Okay.
Wait, what's a Bloodstone villain?
Okay, well, I thought you were talking about something else. I thought you was gangbanging. Hey, man, somebody from villain right now will be like, she said, what's a Bloodstone villain?
Absolutely not. No,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, for Hollywood right now, man, if there's any, villain work, let me know if there's any waiter work. If there's any, I'll even do atmosphere at this moment. Atmosphere background.
You mean what in the background?
Hell yeah.
Take the attention away.
Be on the bus.
Is that Big Boy in the back? Is that Big Boy crossing the street?
That's right. Even with Kendrick, when I saw the Super Bowl, I said he got 100 people out there.
Yes.
He could have just put me in something. Issa Rae, thank you, Queen, for coming into the neighborhood.
Thank you guys so
and
much.
And God willing, we'll see you in the neighborhood again.
Absolutely.
The one and only Issa Rae in the neighborhood, Big Boy's neighborhood.